Cynthia, while more and more Canadians are getting the jab, some are choosing not to for various reasons. As the province reopens, with more people going back to the office and more social gatherings happening, the vaccine is going to come up. So what should you and shouldn't you talk about? We take a look at vaccine etiquette. Do you think it's okay to ask somebody if they've been vaccinated?
I think it depends on how, what relations you have to them and the circumstances in which you're asking them.
I think we should stop doing that.
It could be an awkward conversation, one which will likely happen over and over again in a social or professional setting.
We don't have public health direction as to how fully vaccinated Canadians should be interacting with each other. And this is creating tension in the workplace and in social environments as well.
U of T's professor of bioethics, Carrie Bowman, says while asking someone about their views on a vaccine is a personal question, there are health implications for everyone, which is why the topic shouldn't necessarily be avoided.
If it's a social event, I think you have every right in the world in advance to whoever your guests or, whether they be 2 or 4 or 6, that you would put on the invitation, fully vaccinated, please come if you are fully vaccinated.
Currently in Ontario, nearly 26% of adult residents are fully vaccinated, but health experts say that it means 1 in 4 still need a first dose. Bowman says if you choose not to get the jab, you need to be upfront about it when appropriate.
If you're not vaccinated at all and you withhold the information or choose not to say it, and you're interacting with social groups of people, you are putting other people at risk. And it's not, there's definitely ethical concern with that.
From a social setting to the workplace.
An employer, I think, in certain circumstances, certainly can ask an employee if they have been vaccinated, particularly if that's, for example, to accommodate them. The real question is going to be what they do with that information. Can they cause that employee to lose their job as a result of learning that vaccination? I would say no, they can't rely on that to do that because there are human rights considerations there.
Both experts we spoke with say governments need to come out with more clear guidelines when it comes to rules for those who are vaccinated and those who are not. Until then, there will be confusion.
Even the previous case law we have, mostly from the unionized context on reasonableness of flu vaccines, for example, it just doesn't really translate to the current environment. So I think it is on the government to step in to say, here are the workplaces that have to be immunized, and here are the ones that don't.
Earlier today, City News Toronto did a social media poll on Twitter asking people whether they asked their friends, colleagues, and relatives if they've been vaccinated. Here are the results. Just over half of the 1,497 people who voted said they do ask for vaccine status updates. It was a split for those who didn't ask and those who weighed the situation, depending on circumstances, at around 20%.